Occupational health and safety questions. All right, Private English. This video will show you the most frequently asked questions about occupational health and safety. Listen carefully and try to answer each of them, also pay attention to pronunciation. All right, Private English. Questions. What are the key safety procedures to follow during embarkation and disembarkation? How often should safety drills be conducted on board a vessel? What are the primary firefighting measures and equipment available on board? How should crew members respond in the event of a fire on board? What are the procedures for launching and boarding lifeboats in an emergency? How often should lifeboats and life rafts be inspected and maintained? What actions should be taken to prevent slips, trips, and falls on board? What safety measures should be followed when working at heights on a vessel? How is the use of personal protective equipment, PPE, enforced on board? What are the procedures for handling hazardous materials and chemicals on a vessel? What procedures are followed for the safe operation of life-saving appliances? How are international safety regulations enforced on board? What measures are taken to ensure the structural integrity of the vessel? How are hazardous areas on board clearly marked and secured? What procedures are in place for safe handling and disposal of waste? How are alarms and warning systems maintained and tested? What measures are taken to prevent accidents during mooring and anchoring? How is the safety of onboard catering and food handling ensured? What protocols are followed for the safe loading and unloading of passengers and cargo? How are safety drills and procedures adapted for vessels operating in icy conditions? What measures are taken to prevent onboard pollution from fuel and oil spills? How is the safety of onboard recreational activities, such as swimming or diving, ensured? What measures are in place to prevent onboard theft and ensure passenger security? How are crew members trained to respond to medical emergency? What measures are taken to ensure the safe operation of onboard communication and navigation systems? How should crew members respond to a man overboard situation? What measures are in place to prevent collisions at sea? How are navigational hazards identified and mitigated on board? Actions should be taken in the event of a severe weather forecast. How are emergency communication systems utilized on board? What role do safety officers play in maintaining onboard safety? How are medical emergencies handled on board? What procedures are in place for the safe handling and storage of fuel and other flammable materials? How is the safety of passengers ensured during transit? What precautions should be taken when conducting maintenance and repair work on board? How are emergency power and lighting systems maintained and tested? What measures are taken to prevent unauthorized access to restricted areas? How often are safety inspections and audits conducted on board? What are the procedures for responding to a security threat or the attempt? How is fatigue management addressed among crew members to ensure safety? What measures are in place to prevent pollution and environmental damage? How are safety records and incident reports documented and maintained? What training programs are available to crew members to enhance safety awareness? How are safety responsibilities distributed among different roles on board? What measures are taken to prevent and respond to electrical hazards? How is the safety of onboard machinery and equipment ensured? What procedures are in place for the safe handling of cargo and freight? How are safety drills tailored to specific types of emergencies? What measures are in place to prevent and respond to onboard? How are safety briefings conducted for passengers before embarkation? Listen a couple of times more to identify each question and be ready for its answer. Keep practicing. All right, Private English.